which should be somewhere around here. We're looking for a Morris Minor hearse, which should be with us very shortly. Also very shortly, we've got Mike Brewer and Stead, the wheelie dealers, coming back on stage. There are various other little fun and games on the stage here at the Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show. And also some terrific stands. There's a lot of activities going on each of the stands. I've just been down to the Saab place, and they're putting a new roof on a Saab 900 convertible. It's a fascinating process in itself. But to see them all, sort of four of them, stretching and struggling with that kind of here, I think you probably recognise that sound. We've finally got our Morris Minor hearse coming up to greet us on stage. Also, while we're talking about the wheelie dealers, we've got Michelle's down here selling some exclusive merchandise, wheeler dealer stuff. So she'll be glad to furnish your heads with some lovely hats, I believe, and other such things. Here we go. So this should be Andrew and the Morris Minor with a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, the Morris hearse and the owner Andrew. Hello. Want to step out? Have a microphone.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. So, I don't know where to start with this. This was a car that featured in Practical Classics not long ago, actually, as quite an astonishing restoration. And we couldn't quite believe what we were reading when we first got the
Not
call,
a lot of people can.
No.
Not at first take.
Honestly, it's where to start. Where do you start? Was it a standard car before? Tell me about the car.
Well,
how long have you had it?
Going back, we started off with two Morris Minor convertibles that we do wedding hire with, and things dropped off in the crash, so we thought, let's look for some more business somewhere else, and what's certain in life. And we thought, well, there's one or two things you can't avoid. So we thought, well, there's good following for the Morris Minor. Perhaps there might be something to do with the funeral work with that. So we bought an old wreck of a car, and we thought we'll try the concept out. Got the tape measure out, did a little bit of measuring. A lot of people said, well, it's not long enough for a start. There's just no room behind the seat.
That was one of the awkward questions I was about to ask you, is a matter of length, sure.
Yes. So we looked at the motorcycle hearse and the sidecar, and they carry the coffin on the side, and we thought, well, perhaps we could adopt the same sort of idea. And so we actually ran the deck from the back all the way up to the dashboard. We've even taken the glove box lid out so you can get an extra 3 inches there for the adjustable coffin stop there.
I see, so the glove box lid is actually out. Right.
So we gained an extra 3 inches of length there, so we went from 6'3" to 6'6".
I mean, serious question, but what does this mean when you speak to the families of the deceased? It's a difficult thing to address, but I have to ask the question. You know, what is their general kind of feeling about the car when they see the car on the day, on that awful day?
Yeah, well, you see, there's an increasing trend now for people to celebrate the life of the deceased.
Right.
So if they're a classic car enthusiast, they want to sort of incorporate that into the funeral. So instead of having sort of like an 18-20 foot modern motor hearse, they're looking for something a little bit different and something that's in tune with their hobbies and interests during their life. And quite often, I mean, it's a little bit of a sad thing, but you'll perhaps have people that are getting old in age or might even have a terminal illness, and they'll sort of book the car in advance, and in a way it gives them a little bit of a warm feeling in advance of the day that they're going to go out the way that they want to do, in the type of car that they want to do. And the other thing is, it's quite a small car, so it's not confrontational. It's not like you've got this great big modern car coming up that's a bit impersonal. It's got the smiley face of the Morris Minor, and it just tones things down a little bit.
There is that rather horrible moment where the car draws up outside the home or the church, and it's never a nice thing, of course, but you know, you're right, with something like this, it means it's a very personal thing to the person, and it is, as you say, a celebration of life rather than...
Yes, it shows that people are giving a little bit more thought to the interests and the life of the deceased person, and it's a little bit of a tribute to them. And it doesn't just apply to Morris Minor people, it's classic car people in general. We did a funeral a couple of years ago where there were 14 Triumphs of various types, from TR2s to TR7s, that followed us in convoy. And that was really good. We went for a bit of a final blast down the back lanes, actually. Instead of doing the modest 20 miles an hour, we actually we cracked on a bit.
Good stuff. Love it. Now, just to go back to step back a little bit, the restoration itself, as I recall the pictures of this car, it wasn't in a good state, was it?
It was very poor. Actually, if I could turn the clock back in some respects, I would have picked a better example.
Right.
It was basically a free car we found in an orchard with a tree growing beside it. There were very few redeeming features with it, but because it was an untried concept, we didn't want to spend a fortune on a car that was perhaps sort of mid-range in price.
Okay.
It was possibly a little bodged, and then you've got to strip it all the way back.
This is not a car that could ever realistically be converted back anyway, is it? So I guess that,
Yes.
that stands to reason.
Yes.
What was the biggest challenge in the restoration?
Biggest challenge is, if you exclude the actual car itself, which is fairly standard Morris Minor, but the problem with a Minor Traveller is the paintwork, because you have to paint it in stages, and trying to get paint people interested in revisiting the job several times. None of the panels on this car saw the shell before they were painted, so I had them all come back in a van, sort of like 40 painted panels, because I've only got the drive at home to assemble all this. So you've got to do all the final fit and finish with brand new paint without damaging it. So that was quite a challenge. Fitting the deck, that's the thing that I'm most proud of with that, because that's a bit of designed it in my head and just made it up as I went along. The deck's actually out of an old Mercedes hearse that was going to be banger raced. So quite a lot of the car is recycled, so it's eco-friendly as well, which is a big theme these days.
Good stuff. One of the things we like to do here at the Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show is celebrate the wealth of wisdom and knowledge of all of these amazing clubs on these stands. One of the most helpful clubs, in my experience, from what I can see, is the Morris Minor Owners Club. And did you seek help from anywhere else with the restoration of this car?
I think anybody will admit that nobody knows everything, so you always get help and guidance from people.
Yeah.
So as long as you sort of focus on the fact that there's always somebody out there to help you and to guide you. And obviously the internet is very useful nowadays for looking at things and looking on forums, so that's quite good. I'm a member of the Classic Hearse Register, and it was through the Classic Hearse Register that I managed to locate the deck for the car. Because I managed to pick that up for less than £100. It would have cost thousands if I'd had one bespokely made, so that was useful being a member of that club.
I have to say the Classic Hearse Register is quite extraordinary. If you hop online and have a look at some of their cars, they're just unbelievable, some of them.
Yeah, we have two extremes there. You see, you've got proper or your traditional funeral directors on one end of the scale, and then you've got your sort of less traditional owners on the other end of the scale, and we're sort of somewhere in that spectrum.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us on stage. We're very grateful. I think it's fair to say the Morris Minor Hearse Company provides an incredibly valuable service, but it is an absolutely beautiful car and an incredible restoration, actually. The car itself, it's stunning. So thank you so much for coming on, joining us today. Andrew Bydall to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take that off you. So, coming up at the Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show, we've still got a few things to come. We've got Mike Brewer and Anstead and Danny Hopkins will be back.